Hello, everybody. What's going on?
Hey, everyone. Welcome. We are just checking some settings, so bear with us. This is our first live podcast recording, so we're excited that you're here with us. So we're going to get started here in a second. Hope everyone's doing okay this Saturday afternoon. We're so excited that you're here with us. All right. Hey everyone, how are you? Thanks for being on with us today. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started today. We are excited that you are here, like we said, and we're just doing a little bit of adjustments. We are recording our podcast and doing a live version for you at the same time, and this is going to be really fun and interactive. So if you're on Instagram and you have some questions or some comments, feel free to add those in there, and we're happy to keep the convo going. So if you guys have not been with us before for these, we are I'm Jasmine, and this is Greg.
What's going on, guys?
And we started our podcast called Coaching Team Embers, and it has been really fun so far. We've got about 6 episodes going now, and it's all about parenting and family. We've been parenting for about 17 years now. We've got from age 3 to 17, and in our home, and we're constantly going through all these phases at the same time. So it's never a dull moment in our house.
Absolutely never.
So before we get going, we want to do a fun contest because we just want to just have some fun and get the word out and would love your help. So if you go to coachingteamembers.com, we will be collecting your information. All you've got to do is put your email address in the box when you get there. It's the first thing that pops up. And if you provide your email, people can get entered in for a drawing for a Amazon gift card, a $50 Amazon gift card. Now, don't worry, you're not going to get blown up with all kinds of spam or anything like that. It's just to have a valid entry into this, and you'll be updated on future episodes that come from, that we have coming out, because we do a weekly episode release. So that is what we're doing. So again, coachingteamembers.com. So we're going to go ahead and kick this off today. Our topic for today is going to be teens and dating
or relationships.
Dating, relationships, whatever. So teens and relationships, and that has been, one of the hot topics in our home for several months now, a couple years. We have one that has the most experience on the dating scene, I guess. But it's just something that we talk about a lot, that we get asked about a lot. So we're going to be talking about how we navigate and help our teenagers through relationships, communicating what that looks like in our home and all that, because these topics are really important to help our young people figure out how to have a relationship, because they learn this stuff now under your roof, not when they become an adult, right?
Right.
So I think it's important to start with our background and our experience with dating and what that had looked like for us, and how now we help come together and bring our backgrounds and perspectives together to help our teenagers.
Yeah, so if you don't know our story, I definitely would go back and kind of understand that. But just to kind of give you just a little high level overview of us and our relationship. So we met in high school, freshman year in high school. Dated through high school, had our first kid, a little young, at the age of, right freshman year, dad smacked college, right? So, our relationship has been going on for, a long time, right? But, we kind of always explain to people when they always ask us, especially young people, it's like, how'd you guys do it? Well, really, it's not so much a how. I tell people all the time, it's really a, understand that, there's 7 billion people in this world. You know what I mean? Like, you don't always have to feel like that, you have to get, stuck in one situation or one place because of, certain thing. But just kind of going back, I'll give you a little background of my, my relationship experience as far as like my, as a kid coming up. My mom was definitely a, I had my first relationship was 6th grade, right? It wasn't something that I hid from my mom. I literally was always transparent with her. My aunts, my uncles, my cousins, we all were just always very open and transparent when it came to relationships, right? But one thing that we would always talk about was it was an educational aspect of relationships. So that was the piece of it, right? Like my mom, obviously my first girlfriend was really good friends with, the parents. We had established expectations, talked about what relationship looks like. There's a friendship piece of it that's more important because you guys are still kids. But right now, understand that you are friends. That's it, because you don't understand what everything is. So you guys are just pretty much, I would say, experimenting, right, of what that looks like. So anyways, that was kind of my background and my relationship, from 6th grade. Then obviously in the middle school, like still had the same girlfriend, had girlfriends, right? And then, in the high school is when I met Jasmine. Obviously that story, like I kind of shared back previous episodes and right now, but I guess, yeah. So,
and that's good to know. And again, bear with us. This is our first video. The Facebook was not working, so I had to kind of adjust while Greg was talking.
Yeah, and it threw me off, guys.
So we are live all across platforms, so sorry about that. But anyway, so for the people just joining in from the Facebook, you missed the first few 15 minutes, but it's all good. You haven't missed much. So,
no.
So that's really important, because when you come together to share your point of view with your teenagers, how we grew up and how dating was handled in our home is a big influence, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, I grew up in a more strict home. My dad wasn't really about the boyfriend life at all. So I, never really started to be really considering having a boyfriend until maybe high school, couple guys here and there. Greg was honestly my most serious and first serious boyfriend. So when my dad first found out, or I told him, because there, then you had to call on the house phone, so there was no hiding or anything really. I mean, you picked up on the other line and you can hear all the conversations. But it was just really funny because when Malachi started to pursue some relationships, I was having a really hard time, and I was like, oh my gosh, I remember texting my dad. I was like, well, Malachi's got a girlfriend. And I was really asking for advice. I was like, I don't even know how to handle this. This is just, I feel like it happened so fast. And he's like, just do everything that you wish that I would have did when you were a teenager and going through, your relationships. What do you wish that I would have done? And that was really powerful for me because, like I said, growing up, my dad didn't really want me to be in a relationship. Now, at a certain point, there's only so much you can do as a parent saw Greg at school every single day. There's really no way to control that environment, and seeing, a boy that I was really interested in. So how do you navigate that as a parent? So eventually he just basically gave in and had to work through that with me. But it was really rocky. It was really tough for me to be open and honest with my parents about my relationship with Greg. And it was more manipulative. I had to sneak and do things. I couldn't really ask for my parents for advice, because a lot of times they didn't really want me to even be in a relationship. So it just kind of was a different dynamic and a different way going about how I came up than Greg, know, so.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and it's kind of funny because, Malachi had his first, relationship. It was during COVID, right?
Yeah.
Like they weren't even seeing each other in school, nothing. So Jasmine's freaking out the whole time about, man, he's got this girlfriend, they're texting, they're on, their FaceTime and all this good stuff. And I said, look, it's totally okay. Let them be, because if we try to come in and cut it all off, that only pushes them away, and it doesn't create that open communication with us for a relationship. And I'm not sitting here and I'm not going to be, say, hey, Malachi Imani comes to us every single time and says, hey, Dad, Mom,
I like
this person. I'm going through this. What do I need to do? Absolutely not, because they're still human beings, and human beings still have a thought pattern of what do I do? Should I just try to navigate this through? But like I said, we try to keep everything as open as possible. So there was this, I'll just kind of tell you guys a little situation that kind of happened, right? So situation happened one time. Malachi had his little friend or whatever it was, and they text or something, and Jasmine was like, "Hold up, they're texting at 11 o'clock at night. What are they doing?" I'm like, "Look, our establishes he's not supposed to be on his phone after a certain period of time, so we can take that away. No big deal, right?" Mom here blows up.
I did. And, it was just, for me, it was just really hard to let go. But then I luckily I had Greg's perspective, and I had to remember my own perspective of how was it for me as a teenager and dating. I did not want to break any kind of trust. We want our kids to talk to us about everything. Sometimes, like Greg said, they're not going to come to us about everything, but we do have to cultivate that relationship and pull that out so they are comfortable talking to us about the silliest thing or drama going on at school, the serious issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so kind of stay on that. One thing, when Malachi was really young, I say really young, 8th grade, right? That's really young to me. But I told him, I said, look, son, when you're looking for a girlfriend, when you're looking for somebody to date, and I told this with my daughter as well, right? This is just a standard, whatever that looks like. The standard is like, hey, listen, when you're dating someone, you want to make sure they're pretty or handsome, right?
That is not the most important thing, though.
Listen. Listen. No, and they're smart, right? They have a great family structure, right? They believe in your faith, right? They believe in a faith, and and you're able to communicate with them.
Yeah, so I think we should, a lot of things come up too of like the expectation. Dating relationships is kind of tough because there are so many, some families don't believe in letting their kids date at all, and that doesn't happen until after high school, which if you have done that before, please comment, and I would love to see how that looks in your home. We are open to like seeing how everyone parents and handles these relationships, because it's just really good to have that community and learn from each other, right? Mm-hmm. We don't have all the answers, but there are a lot of ways to do this. But for us, we set that expectation. It's, our daughter's really not there right now. She's got other focuses, but our son, like the expectation. Okay, we really don't think dating is really going to happen for you till 16, 17 years old. Okay, so the first time when he kind of was pursuing someone, he was younger than that. So that's why we kind of had to navigate that a different way, because he still had feelings for somebody. So how did we do that, right? But knowing the expectation is the appropriate age in our home that we believe 16, 17, because maturity, a whole bunch of things, school, peer pressures, all kinds of things. So another expectation that we really talk about for dating also is just knowing how to respect and communicate, right? So I think we should really talk about that, because how do we help our children learn how to communicate with their peers and the people that they want to date?
Wow, that's a really good question.
So I'll start this one because most recently, there was another girl that Malachi had a relationship with, and I had a really pretty close relationship with the mother. And we always, I think, being on the same page as the other child's parent is really important.
Yeah.
When we first found out that this relationship was happening, I got the phone. We met. We kind of just met one off at a football game, and that was really nice to put faces to names and see that our children are getting involved with each other. But we had open lines of communication. We when we noticed that there may be drama at school or things that are affecting our kids, we weren't helicopter moms, but we made sure to check in with our kids and say, is everything going okay? Because there's going to be drama. Kids are kids no matter what school they're going to. And it's really important to help your kids navigate whatever things that people are saying or whatever's going on, and how to handle feelings and how to talk to one another, and how to, because kids are going to get upset about petty things. There's jealousy, there's other people involved, there's friends involved in their ear. So it was really important for me and this child's mother to just talk to each other and say, okay, well, Taylor, this person mentioned this, and Malachi mentioned this, and what do you think about that? But we were never hovering. We weren't being aggressive with our kids or pushy. It was just to let each other be in the loop and to have that open line of communication to help our children know how to handle situations and talk to one another.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, like you were saying, it's great to have a relationship. And listen, comment right now what your thoughts are. Should you have a relationship with the other person's parents or not? What's your thoughts? Give us some feedback there, right?
And that was also important for us because we wanted to make sure that this child's parents were okay with her having a boyfriend. You know what I mean? We didn't want this to be a situation where this child was hiding the fact that she had a boyfriend or vice versa. It's just really important for everyone to be involved in that, I think.
Yeah, and I think for you, it was very important because coming from your perspective, you didn't want the girl to sneak around.
Exactly.
Right? Because that was the kind of the situation that we had before.
Exactly.
Right? So, and then number two, we just wanted to make sure, hey, listen, we're all on the same page here. Like I want to make sure that, you're not okay with this and you're okay with this. Because there's some things that, obviously we're not okay with. Mm-hmm. And if that would have been a situation with the other family, then obviously we could have that open dialogue and open communication. I think that's why for us it's very important that we did have a relationship with that family, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that was kind of one thing that was important to you. It was like, hey, I have to know who the family is, right? Yeah. And I think for just kind of looking back, as my childhood coming up, my mom having a relationship with my first girlfriend, and then obviously your parents, it really helped us, right? Yeah. Because you always hear that saying, it takes a village, right? Well, the village is the parents of the girlfriend or the boyfriend. So because we're not always with them, right? But they're with them, and we know we're on the same page and the same level.
Like what do they believe? Mm-hmm. Are they, it's a trust thing, and vice versa. They want to know how can they trust us with their daughter, can we trust them with our son when they're out doing events and at things, and when we have her at our house or at different places? It's just part of that. But one thing that I love that you have taught our kids, babe, is friendship, because that is a big thing that you value in relationships. And what are some conversations that you have around, especially with Malachi number one, because he's going the main child going through the dating scene right now. What is your advice about friendship first and all that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think I value friendship because no matter what happens, as long as you can keep a friend, that's important, right? And what we say in our home, relationship is currency. Relationship is currency. So how important that relationship is before you even start dating. Like, be friends.
Yeah.
And listen, here's the thing. I'm talking to some of you people right now that are single.
Yeah.
Some of you adults, or some of you the moms out there that, maybe the single mom, or the dad that's a single dad, or, somebody who's not even in a relationship yet. I'm talking to you as well. Like, have a relationship because it's important. Because at the end of the day, like Jasmine said earlier, we're teaching them how to do things right now for when they become adult. Right? So when I think about my grandparents my grandfather was 97 before he died. My grandmother was 93.
Wow.
Right? At a certain point, what else is there to do but sit around and talk?
Exactly.
I mean, if you can't have a relationship, then all the mushy gushy feelings, emotions, and obviously what goes on in in a marriage, once that happens, is the sex, right? But once all that is done, let's break down. Are we friends?
Yeah.
Right? Like, how important is our friendship? So I think that's key. So, like I told Malachi when he first started dating, this girl, listen, you guys are just friends right now.
Yeah.
You guys are
Develop
friends.
the friendship.
Right. You guys are just friends that have a title of boyfriend and girlfriend.
Right. And that's so important because honestly, I'm just going to throw this in there. Like, my husband, Greg, he just like almost made me cry a couple times when he said this before, because he's like, out of nowhere, he just says, I just don't even know who else I would be with. We both like sushi. We both like having a lot of fun. We both like to travel. Like, just names out all these things that we like to do together. And generally, we do. Like, we love to do a lot of fun things together.
We do.
And then I'll sit back and think, I'm like, yeah, that's true. Like, and that's important because when all our kids are out of our home, we're going to have a freaking blast.
Yeah.
I mean, we're having fun now. But, I mean, we're going to have fun for the rest of our lives because I always, no matter what, when I'm with my husband, I have a good time. And that is so important. And it's important to teach that to your kids.
Yeah.
When connecting. So.
And I think, like, I'm going to kind of switch topics a little bit, talking about our current situation with our son. I don't want to throw all his business out there. I don't want to throw all that out there. But, one thing, a few weeks ago, he comes home and he says, man, we're taking a break. And I said, okay, well, what's up? And he's like, well, I need to trust a little bit more.
That's so good.
I need to trust a little bit more. And I said, oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you recognize what you need to work on. So I was explaining to him. I don't know. I don't know if I should get into details or what. What do you think? What's your thoughts?
You can keep things high level. I mean, I think it's important because these are real life conversations that we have with our kids. Yeah. And somebody out there needs help with their teenagers.
Right. So, yeah. So, the situation was, he's like, man, I really, I just wanted to talk to her, So I texted her and she wasn't texting me back and, all this good stuff. Right. It's just, oh man, going back and forth. Like, and I said, look, buddy, you're 16. She's still young. You guys are kids. Like, one thing that I think has helped us in our relationship is, and this is what I told my son, when your mom's out doing whatever she needs to do or whatever, I'm not blowing her up. I let her be. You know, you see us, you know, texting each other, trying to figure out what's going on because we literally have a logistics company that we have to run inside of our home. Period. You know, it's 4 kids, 6 of us. 4 kids trying to navigate where everybody needs.
So when I'm blowing you up and I really need an answer, it's because I really need an answer right now.
But it's different when you're a kid or when you're a mom or you're a dad or you're in a relationship. You don't have those, you know, those responsibilities. So listen, I said, look, just let it be. It's a trust factor, which trust and faith go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So you have to trust, and you have to trust to make sure that, hey, you know, everything's good. She'll get back to me when she can. Because later on in life, there's going to be times where y'all just going to be busy.
Yeah.
You know, son, your goal is to play in college football. Your goal is to go on and build a business. Well, son, there's going to be a time in your life where you're going to be extremely busy and you won't have time, but there has to be that trust and faith factor.
Yeah. Teaching your children how to have a healthy relationship with someone early on is so important. Yes, they're going to see me and Greg. It's not always perfect, but there's things that they're going through that we went through as in our younger years. Like I said, we've known each other since 15 years old. So they didn't see what that relationship look at 15, a hot mess. You know, it was a hot mess. There's drama from school and everything. I mean, it just is what it is.
Kids. And that's why we navigated though.
That's why we navigated.
Seriously, because our parents wasn't our relationship. Our parents had. I mean, my mom.
They didn't really know what was going on,
but they had no clue.
Yeah,
like at all. So that's why now when they're our 17-year-old. We're navigating it. We're hands on.
Yeah.
Like we are not hands off with our children in relationship because we know, what we were doing at 16, 17, 18, then on the whatever. Nah, I'm going to see you. Period. I am going to have the Life 360 app.
Yes.
Get that if you ain't got it. Period. And I'm gonna know every move. Well, but here's funny though. So, since we're talking about, just kind of like really staying on with our kids, I told my son, and here's, like I said, we're pretty open and honest with our children, and we allow them to be open and honest with us. Okay. Yeah. So I told him, I said, look, son, there's nothing in this world that you're going to do or experience that I haven't already been through.
Yeah.
And I think it's important for him to understand that, even though he's like, it's daddy. But no, you can come to me because I have the experience in that level, which I always got to throw something out of book. With all things, get understanding, right? So I tell him all the time, get wisdom and understanding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is so good. So we've hit about, a few things, and the honesty and communication and friendship being important and the expectation and building that trust. What about how, I think another good topic about helping our kids is just the fact of them being able to not just trust, their friends and that they're in a relationship with, but also trusting us to come to us to talk. Because that's not always easy, getting your teenager to talk to you.
Yeah.
Some of your kids are going to be easier to read those nonverbal cues than others. Malachi makes it really easy. Yeah. We know when there's something wrong. Girls, a lot of times, are a lot more open. They will just spill it out, if that trust is established. So, for us, a couple of ways that we build trust in our home with our kids is it started a long time ago, before this point. And we have always just made it a point to really be sure that we are bringing our kids along in conversations, being open and honest with them, using our marriage as an example of what to do and what not to do.
Yep.
Sitting our kids down and saying, we apologize for that. That was not the right way to handle the situation. Yep. But establishing, you can start now. It doesn't matter if your kids are a toddler. It's important to build that trust and the open line of communication at a very young age, so that when they are 14, 15, 16, older, they have no problem coming to you and inviting you into the relationships that they have, because we want to be the number one point of contact for advice, not a 14-year-old kid.
Right.
Okay? Because they don't know anything. You know, they have no wisdom. They have no experiences. So we want to make sure we're always at least involved in some kind of way, and hoping that they do involve us. And so far they have done pretty well. Like I said, boys are a little harder. You kind of have to talk it out of them, but eventually they'll come around and open up a little bit more.
Yeah. And listen, for dads out there, you know, if you're a father with your son, understand he might be more comfortable with talking to mommy. Like, it's okay. You know what I mean? I'm really speaking to myself. But I want you guys to hear what I'm saying. It's okay that your son wants to talk to mommy. You and your spouse have to have that point of contact and that point of relationship and that point of communication that you guys can be open and communicate whatever that, you know, your son had a conversation with your wife about, and then navigate your way in just by asking a couple of simple questions. You know, so for example, for me, I love to ask questions to pull, even if just a regular conversation, I just want to ask questions just so I can pull a little information out. So sorry if I got off topic.
No, this is great. So we are really just kind of wrapping up here with the podcast recording, but we would, if you guys have any questions, you might be on here who you might have teenagers dealing with some stuff and have some questions you want to ask, feel free to comment, and we'll just do like a little mini Q&A if you're on here and have a question. If you have kids who aren't at that point yet, but might have a question for how you handle a certain thing or whatever, feel free to comment and we can talk to you about, you know, whatever pops up. Greg's trying to figure out the comments on the Facebook part. But before we do that, I know some comments are rolling. Before we do that, though, I just wanted to let everybody know who joined in late and who weren't on the beginning on the Facebook live stream. We are doing a contest right now. And this is our first season of Coaching Team Embers. We are so glad you're here. We are so excited to be doing this because it's just blessed our lives just being able to get this thing launched. And but if you go to coachingteamembers.com, you can go to that website, and the first thing that'll pop up is a capture box for your email address. And if you subscribe to get updated every week, your name is going to go into a drawing for a Amazon gift card. Okay, so all you've got to do is leave your email. Promise I won't blow you up or spam you or anything crazy like that. It's just to connect. You'll get weekly episode updates every Monday, and your name is also going to go into the drawing for the gift card. So get the word out about that. We'll leave the link in the comments for you to go back and do that in case you missed that as well. So let's see if we have any questions. Gonna need some assistance for this next one.
I think I see Phoenix on here. Hey, listen, we definitely appreciate you and love you, seriously, because of a word that you kind of put in our spirit a long time ago.
Yeah.
So we love you and appreciate you and love to see your travel.
Yes.
If you guys haven't, go follow her, check her out, become friends. What's up, Mariah? Love you.
Hi, we love you guys. Okay, so looks like we're good to go, but we thank you so much, y'all, for joining us today. We're going to try to go live every now and then. May not be every week on every topic, but doing these are really encouraging. I think building community together is really important. This parenting journey is not easy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we've got, like I said, right now we are potty training and teaching a teenager how to drive at the same time. So we have a bunch of stages going on. We're really young parents, have learned a lot, and we're always open to learning from you guys as well. Yeah. So let's connect. We would love for you to subscribe to our podcast on any of your favorite podcast streaming services. You can connect with us at coachingteamembers.com and subscribe directly from there as well. So, Anything else you want to add?
I always got stuff to add.
What's up?
But so no, I'm good. I just want to say thank you guys so much. I really look forward to meeting you, connecting with you. Like Jasmine said, in the comments, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, podcast, Apple Podcasts, go comment in there. Share this podcast with your friends, anybody that you feel definitely could get value out of it. And we definitely look forward to the journey with you, and hope to someday, maybe have you on as a guest.
All right. Well, thank you, and we'll see you next time. Have a great Saturday. We love you guys.
It was only 30 minutes.
We're still live. Bye, guys.
See ya. It was only 30 minutes?
Yeah, that's good.
Dude, we need more. I'm telling you.
Hold on.
We should go more. I don't feel like that was a good podcast.
Why? That's perfect.
You think so?
You don't want to go more than that, baby. People don't listen to more than that. With a lot of research, people don't listen to more than that.
I'm saying for content for you to edit.
Oh, no. It's plenty. Trust me. You don't want... The ones we have maybe 20 minutes. The ones with the interviews are longer. People don't want to hear us rambling the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
So, I have to figure this out for future because